Hello. Hello, good morning. Happy Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday and good morning, good morning, good morning. As you can see, hi Helena. As you can see, the trees are up. The trees are up. You know what that means? My baby's home. My baby's home from college. I've already started to have things misplaced. So that means my baby's home. Am I getting in the Christmas spirit a little bit more, a little bit more. We put up our tree yesterday, and I have an ornament that I know you guys have seen me break down on this channel about my cousin who was like my sister who passed away, and she made me an ornament, um, way back in like 2016 or something, and I changed the color of my tree every year. This year it's pink. We're going with pink vibes, all versions of pink. And she made me an ornament way back in 2016, and I put it on my tree every year, no matter what color my tree is, because I just keep the ornament. And we were so busy yesterday that I was putting up the tree and I almost forgot the ornament. And my baby brought me the ornament to put on my tree. So for all of y'all who said I shouldn't wait on my baby to put up the tree, nah. I just wanted to tell that story because I felt like I've been vindicated while I was waiting on my baby to put up the tree. But my baby is home and we are finally getting in the Christmas spirits. Good morning, Melissa. Good morning, Stephanie. Good morning, other people's drama. I also would like to say that whenever FanDuel or MGM Sports or any of those get a trial betting app, your girl might turn into a sports better and get rich. I believe that I said that the verdict was going to come in before 1:15 and it was going to be murder one. I just want to say give me my applause. That's it. That's all I want to say. I just want to say, give me my applause. Oops, stop. I, Elena, that is funny. That is funny. You know, when my baby was here in high school, we would put our tree up a little bit after Thanksgiving, and it comes down on New Year's Day. Maybe the second if I'm too hungover, but I don't keep this tree up too much after that. I gotta go. I gotta get my house back in order. You know, you gotta move stuff around to put the tree up. You gotta make space, and it feels cluttered. First, second, maybe, it gotta go. It gotta get up out of here. So, um, listen, other people's drama. I'm saying, I feel like I would be a couple thousand there on the trial betting. I feel like I've been pretty good. You know, the last verdict I got wrong, and I wasn't even an adult. This is how long I've been watching trials. This is how long I knew I wanted to be a lawyer. This is how long trial strategy and watching trials has interested me. The last verdict I got wrong was Casey Anthony, and it bothers me to this day. To this day, I am salty about it because I still want to know what those people were thinking. She is the one who got away without a body. And we even got the body later. And there's one line from the Casey Anthony trial that sticks with me. It was from the Emmy. It was from the Emmy. And all these years later, I was in high school when Casey Anthony was on trial because I remember sitting there watching it with my grandfather. Was I in high school? Maybe I had just been on first year of college. Let me check. I want to, let's not lie. When was Casey Anthony on trial? Let me think. When was Casey Anthony on trial? 2011. I was out of high school. I don't know why I felt like I was in high school. I was definitely in college. Then my baby was born. I was an adult. I don't know why I felt like I was in high school. I know I wasn't in law school yet. But I was watching it with my grandfather, and the medical examiner said one sentence, and I was like, exactly. Exactly. This is a guilty verdict. And I'd have put the house on it if there was trial betting back then. So I'd just probably been getting out of my hole. But that's the last that's the last trial I got wrong. The Emmy said we found the skull and this, which I want to say she called the mandible. And she's like, there's nothing holding that together, which is why when you get a skull, it's just the top teeth, because there's nothing holding this together but skin and cartilage. And the only reason we got both of them is because there was a piece of tape holding them together. And there's no reason to put tape over a child's mouth unless you want to stop her from screaming. And the story by which I want to tell me that she drowned in the pool, there would be no reason to put tape over her mouth. Casey Anthony's last trial, I got wrong. I feel like first, if we were betting on first Kieran Reed, I feel like FanDuel would have had to call that a wash. Because I did not see a hung jury coming in that trial. So maybe I got that wrong. But hung jury is not really a decision one way or the other. I call that indecision. I'm saying they put a trial betting app up. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I think I got it right. I think the jury got it right. I think the people, again, like explained on Monday, the people who wanted murder too, I can see that. I can see it intellectually. Sure, I can see it intellectually. I'm sure you can argue that point to me. I just don't care. I just don't care. I think he meant to kill her one way or the other. I think he intended to kill her one way or the other, and I think he planned to kill her one way or the other. And I think murder one is the right verdict, um, which is a mandatory life sentence. Good morning, Aaron. Um, which is a mandatory life sentence. So the other charges really don't matter. But I think the judge wants to hear. I was very interested, and I was very like, what you got up your sleeve there, Judge? When she's when she said, I'm gonna wait on the other charges until I read the impact statements, until I see the impact statements. I want the impact statements. I think this judge is on a hair trigger to cuss Brian Walsh out. I think she can't wait. Melanie's chat was mad in a way they didn't prove he meditated and that he killed her, and I was shook up. It was a reasonable part. You know, I saw a lot of chats acting like it was just there's just no way. And that is what bothers me. That's what bothered me about the whole thing. A lot of chats was like, they just did not prove it. They just did. And I just think they are forgetting that circumstantial evidence is evidence. They are forgetting that juries can infer facts from surrounding facts. It's like they wanted something very strategic. They wanted a picture. And it's like we don't always have a picture. We don't always have a video. Sometimes you have to make educated inferences. Sometimes you have to use the circumstantial evidence. So to say that it's absolutely implausible is ridiculous. That's just a ridiculous argument. I feel like the fact that he pled guilty to chopping her up and getting rid of her was enough for me. You don't need much else. I don't need much else. But they gave us so much more. They gave us so much more. Nobody after 2019 loses their phone and have absolutely no way to find it. And if they have no way to find it, nobody after 2019, especially with small children, just decides they're not going to have one unless you don't want the phone tracking you. You have watched enough TV to know that the phone is going to pinpoint your location. That is very true. They wanted everything wrapped up in a bow. They wanted very clear, concise. They wanted him to be on tape saying, I can't wait to kill this bitch. That's not going to happen. I think it's I think it's illogical to act like it's not even possible that they could get to murder one. I think that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And I don't want those type of people on my jury. I don't want those type of people on my jury. I don't want those type of people that too smart for their own good, that overthink everything to the detriment of common sense on a jury that I'm ever on. I feel like that's what happened in the first Karen Reed trial. They overthink everything to the detriment of what's actually going on. There are inferences that can be made. You don't need clear evidence, that you don't need clear pictures. I think if I was on that jury, the moment he said, I'm not testifying, that would have been it for me. That would have been enough for me. Because what happened? What happened? Why'd you let this lawyer get up and lie to us? What happened? To not give that man murder one is very clearly, like the prosecutor said, you're going to let him benefit from the fact that we don't have a body. You're going to let this man benefit, which means every murder from here on out will not have a body. They have learned from the best. Find you a trash compactor that finds you a trash can that compacts every day and a half. Cut that lady up and put it in there, and then just claim whatever you want. And everybody's on your jury is going to say, well, they didn't prove intent. Make sure you say nothing about it as much as you can beforehand. There's very rarely very clear evidence of premeditation. You have to infer it. You have to infer it in most cases. So in most cases, everybody's gonna act like I didn't mean to. I'm so mad. I didn't even know what happened. I don't know. People who are acting like it's absolutely impossible are frustrating. It's very frustrating. And I don't want you on my jury. Get on out of here with that. And I don't know what kind of test they're going to have to come up with during voir dire to determine what kind of juror this person is. They're going to have to do something because a person like that on a jury would be insufferable. It would be insufferable. What do you want? That's the question. That's the question, right, Helena? That's the question. What, if this is not enough, you feel, to get to murder one, tell me what it is you're looking for. And it can't be anything Brian Walsh said because he's a known liar and a fraudster and a murderer. So disregard everything he had to say or that his lawyer said he had to say. Hey, Chaoticus, disregard all that shit. If you can't use any of that bullshit, tell me, what more do you want? What more do you want from me in Tyrese's voice? That is the question. Because if this isn't enough, I hope nobody get rid of your Bonnie. That was mean, and I didn't mean that. But I'm just saying. But I'm just saying. To act like it's implausible is a very frustrating, and it's very counterintuitive to what we're trying to do here. Like it really is. What is going on? Hold on. That was quick. That was quick. That was quick. Am I back? Sometimes StreamYard mute don't be coming back on. Um, But yeah, it really is a function of what that's the question. If this was not enough, if you're appalled, because like I said, I can understand intellectually how somebody could be murdered too, but I'm not appalled. I prefer murder one, and I would have gotten murder one, but I'm not appalled that you think murder two. It's the fact that people are like, absolutely not, absolutely not. Like, I need you to pump your brakes and explain to me what else do you need. You wanted to see how do I kill my cheating wife and get away? That's too obvious, though. And the thing is, I believe the part about the Google searches were done frantically and all of a sudden. I don't think he planned to kill her where there would be blood. I don't think he planned to kill her. I I listen. Yeah, I don't have no, well, I do have so I can make some educated inferences just because I know how most people operate. Now he's a psychopath, so he may be way off in the distance, but in my mind, he intended to kill her. He always intended to kill her. And I think he intended to do it when they were off at dinner or going to dinner. I have every suspicion that he wanted to drive to DC, get her to DC, and that's where he wanted to kill her, get rid of her, where her car was last. Listen, again, I told y'all before, in every lie, there's a little bit of truth. His story was always going to be that she had a work emergency. That was always going to be his story. He kept that part. The story was always going to be she had a work emergency. And then they were going to find her car in DC. And they were going to eventually find her body in DC. But it was going to have no inference of murder. Maybe she drowned. Maybe she had a heart attack. It was not supposed to look like she had been murdered. But whatever happened, there was no way you could look at her body and not see murder. And so he had to get rid of her. He had to get rid of her. I think so too, Montana. I think so too. I think he had planned to pin it on whoever she was going to see in DC, possibly facile. But he did not, whatever happened, maybe he slapped her, maybe he strangled, maybe because she was too light in the neck, and now you see ligature marks. Maybe she fought back, and now I had to stab her, and it's like, fuck. There's a stab mark. They're going to start looking for a murderer. Then if they do that, they might get back to me. You know, murderers don't think about all the steps, but I think in every lie, there's a little bit of truth. She was always supposed to go to DC on a work emergency. Her car's there. She has a home there. That's not implausible, but she got fucked up. And now I got to get rid of the body. And hopefully my plan still works because her car's still in DC. The only problem is when I call Uber and Lyft, they don't have no record of this lady ever getting in the car. The only problem is now they got you on 1711 cameras all up in the Lowe's and the Home Depot and the CVS's and the wherever else. What I think of the mama, I think that mama is crazy and I think she looks like Jack Skellington and I think she absolutely knew afterwards. I think that mama couldn't stand Anna and I think it wasn't no psychic that told her she was having an affair. It was that private investigator she hired, and which is why I always thought Brian knew. Always thought Brian knew. But also, something is weird about that whole family. Speaking of, did you hear Michael Morrissey and his big Professor Clump ass get do his press conference and say, I talked to the sister and she said justice is served. That's not strange to you guys. Maybe he maybe he shortened it And I hope so. Maybe she has a written, maybe we're going to hear more from her in the impact statements. But justice is served. That's all you have to say about your sister? I don't know, you guys. I told y'all Monday, something is off with this family. Something is off. If that was my sister, I'd have been in that courtroom every day staring a mud hole in the back of Brian Walsh's head. Do you hear me? Every time you turned around, every time you turned around with that ran and snippy nose, you would have had to look at me in my face. You bastard. I think it's odd. Think it's odd. I think it's odd that the boys are in state custody. Something is off. Something is strange. I'd have went to court every day with my Anna Walsh t-shirt on. Anna Walsh headband. I just don't understand. Justice is served. That's all we got. Okay. I mean, I can't tell people how to grieve. Maybe she's in shock. Maybe she's in shock. This happened in 23, right? Listen, blessed beyond 21. I think it's so, I can't get over it. I can't get over it that those boys are in state custody. I can't get over it. I can't get over it. Maybe until he was convicted, which he is now, he still had some sort of right to them. I'm gonna look this up. Do they become orphans? Technically, their father is still alive, but he's in jail for the rest of his life. Do they become orphans? Is it him that's keeping them in state custody? Is it him not allowing her family to get them? I tell you who tell me. I'm so appalled and interested. If one parent, how are we gonna word this? If one parent is murdered by the other, and the living parent, you got to be very specific, goes to prison, are the children considered orphans? Let's see. Says short answer, usually no. The incarcerated parent usually loses physical custody. Okay. Incarceration doesn't automatically terminate parental rights, but can be terminated in cases involving the murder of the parent. So maybe I'm gonna give his family just a little bit of grace because yeah, I've been struggling. Maybe until he was convicted, he still had legal rights to the children. But now that he's been convicted of her murder, maybe his rights are terminated, and now the and I'm sure they will, Helena. I'm sure they will. Maybe now they can go get their nephews. Hopefully that's the case. Hopefully that's the case. Listen, bless beyond, I said that too. I said maybe not the mother in Serbia, because that seems like a whole extradition and immigration nightmare. But Canada, and you already got the hue for the protection. Nobody's even looking at you weird. There's no reason. There's no reason you can't come get those boys. It may be a citizenship issue why she can't take them back to Canada, but she can come over here and sit with them. But maybe he still had Maybe he still had a say so until he was convicted. I'm gonna go with that so that I can sleep at night. I'm gonna go with that so that I can sleep at night. Although, hmm, oh no, this isn't the first time we've had a case where the mom or the dad has murdered the other parent and the kid is with the family. I'm very confused, but I'm going to give them a little bit of grace so that I can sleep at night because y'all, this has been keeping me up. I just find myself randomly thinking about this. I'll just be like putting the dishes in the dishwasher and be like, why are those boys in state? Why are those boys in state custody? Something ain't right. Something ain't right. There's no reason for that. There's no reason for that, girl. Not even it's a emergency visa, Helena. She could just come over here, act like she visited, and never leave. Ain't nobody looking for them kind of people. Nobody's. Um, I ain't seen ICE roll up on a Canadian yet. I haven't seen ICE run up on an Australian yet. Okay, nobody's thinking about her. She can just never go, just never leave. I don't understand. I don't understand. If this was my sister, you wouldn't be able to keep me up from my nephews. I would break into the state facility and go get my nephews. That's just me, though. That's just me, though. You no, you're not. No, you're not. That is that is funny. You saying like, what if they like, ooh, I don't know. Ooh, I don't know about them. Them little crybaby ass kids. Is that what you I don't know. I was still but there I was that is funny. I am crying. Um but people are kids are only brats with their parents. Let's be honest. They're only brats because their parents let them be brats, and you can't really say anything to them because their parents are there. Once their parents are gone, you ain't gonna be no brat in my house because I'm gonna slap. Listen, I don't know what the YouTube rules are, but I will pop a kid in the mouth. Okay? Period. Um, I don't see the court giving kids to a non-citizen. If that's their only family member, they would rather put them in the system. You think so, numbers? I think if there was a family member here and a family member elsewhere, then yes, I could see them giving not wanting the non if it was if there was a choice between who. But if that's all I got, you gonna make me suffer because that's all I got? That's not them kids' fault. I think I don't know. Yeah, it keeps me up. It keeps me up. It keeps me up because I would be in court every day. Tell me why I can't have my nephews. Explain it to me. Break it down to a 5-year old. Okay, what do I gotta do? Okay, and then what's next? That's what I think too, Montana. And I think I said that in a previous video. Like, where's all of Anna's money? It's not going to his ass because he's in jail and he's the one who murdered her. But shouldn't those kids get it? Shouldn't those kids get it? Is it now in a trust for them until they're 18, or do they foster parents get the nibble off of it to take care of them? Where is her money? We saw that in her one of our IRAs. There was like what, like $300,000. Should a life insurance policy for a cool meal? They won't give it to him. Would they give it to her kids? Where's her money? Maybe the state wants her money. I believe anything coming out of Massachusetts. Okay. I believe anything coming out of Massachusetts. And then Meatball, that's what he looks like. Where is Meatball? Meatball Morrissey came out. Why are you here? That's the face I had the whole time he was speaking. Shut up. Nobody cares. Shut up. Shut up. Get away from here. Why are you taking this victory lap? Like you didn't just spend millions of dollars on a pointless ass case. You're just happy to get a win. You got to win on an obvious case. Shut up. Ugh, he's such a waste of space. Isn't he like not running again? Probably because he knows he can't win. It's not like he's not doing, the noble thing and stepping out of the way because he's had so much controversy. I'm sure it's that he can't win and he knows it. Bastard. Sit down. Bless beyond. I would argue you in any other state but Massachusetts. I would argue with that in any other state but Massachusetts. I believe nothing but the worst coming from them. I believe nothing but the worst coming from them. So we're gonna get sentencing today, and again, it is a mandatory life sentence for the murder one. Um, and it's mandatory life with no parole. So really, mm, I'm sure he's going to try to appeal, but I wonder what his appeal would be. What you think his appeal would be? Ineffective assistance of counsel because of that opening? You know, I just thought about that on the fly. But now that I'm thinking about it, y'all, if your counsel gets up and tells the jury, now we got to take it out of Brian Walsh because we really don't care what happened to Brian Walsh, but we have to take it out of Brian Walsh and just say you're on trial. Just say you're on trial, and your counsel gets up in his opening and tells the jury that they're going to hear from you. Tells the jury all the stuff they're going to hear from you, and then you decide, as is your right, as is your absolute right. I don't want to testify anymore. I don't want to testify anymore. Do you think you base your appeal around this bastard got up and said I was going to testify, and I never said I was sure, or I was never sure, or I had up until the defense case to decide? Do you think that's appealable? Because y'all heard me say, oh, he lost this case now. If I was a juror, I'd have been like, oh, yeah, nah. Because the whole time everybody's testifying, all I'm thinking about is what's Brian going to say to that? What's Brian going to say to that? I wonder how he's going to answer that. I can't wait to hear him talk about that. And then you don't testify. I feel like I was lied to. Do you think that could have swayed it would have swayed me? Would have swayed me. I mean, I was already going to be guilty, so it wouldn't have swayed me that far. But it would have been like, oh, okay, well, never mind. I don't even got to think anymore. So I wonder if that will be the test. I wonder if the test of the court was the error so egregious that it would have changed the outcome of the case. See, the thing is, I don't think it would have changed my outcome because he was already guilty. But it is a good conversation to have, isn't it? It is a good conversation to have. They did those searches without a search warrant? No, but he gave them to him. He gave them to them. How can he appeal that? How can he appeal that? He handed those things over. The thing is, the things he handed over, he did not know that they were syncing to his computer. Oh, go see the pretrial hearing. I will, because now I'm interested. I thought he handed those over for them to search. They asked, "Can we see the phone?" And he gave it to them. No. Is that wrong? Tell me something I don't know. Or is it inevitable discovery? Is it that no, we didn't have a search warrant, but we would have gotten one and would have found it, which is what I think is going to happen with Mangione's backpack. They're not going to throw that out. I think they're going to argue inevitable discovery. You were already arrested. We were going to get a search warrant. It's not a big deal. He only gave them permission for text between him and Anna. You know what? You know what? Just feels like if there's anything Massachusetts can do that is underhanded, corrupt, behind the back, they're going to do it. Because what is the harm in waiting? What's the harm in waiting? What's the harm in waiting? Oh, I gotta go watch it. I gotta go see what he's arguing. But I think the searches will, you know, you know, I think it will be inevitable discovery, and I hate that rule. I hate that rule. I feel like that rule came out, and I can't remember the case, but I feel like the Supreme Court sort of twisted themselves into a linguistic pretzel to get in evidence that they should not have let in. And now we have cases like this where inevitable discovery. I just feel like either I have a Fourth Amendment right against unlawful searches and seizures, or I do not. Like, or I do not. Inevitable discovery. I've always hated that rule. I've always hated that rule. Um, but I wonder who's going to give impact statements. I think. Do you think fast out is that bold? Like, do you think your paramour gives an impact statement? I mean, again, we are all 100% against Brian Walsh, so we really don't care what happens to him. But just generally, do you think the person you were cheating with should be allowed to give an impact statement? Just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Numbers is asking me to do a show on the Michigan coach arrest, and I feel like the details of that case are more suited for honesty. feel like the way I'm going to talk about that case is more suited for an honesty discussion. So we may talk about that on honesty. Um, is that crazy? Y'all think he is? But is that crazy? Is that like, ain't this a bitch? I mean, again, you gotta take it out of Brian Walsh. Just say your husband. I'm not saying you would. I'm not saying anybody in this chat would, because we all have, sense. But just say your husband. And then the girl he was cheating with come up to give an impact statement. Do you want to jump over the chair? Sit your ass down. You like is that not strange? Okay. I don't know. I get it, but it's like an episode of Jerry Springer. He probably was first. He was her friend first, but then he was sliding. And he wasn't jealous, they say. So they say. So they say. I don't know if I believe that. Um, okay, so Fast Style, Genu, we know the kids wrote something, but we won't be able to see that. The best friend, air quotes best friend, y'all know how I feel about her. You think the mom killed her? When did she get to the house? You think she came after Jimu left and killed her? No, I don't think so. I think Brian Walsh is way too selfish, way too narcissistic, way too about himself to go to jail for his mama, even though he's mama's boy. There's a limit. I think Brian killed her and his mom knows about it. You think she was there that night. Now, we don't have any proof of that. I don't know about that. I think she knew about it. And I think she's the one. She was there on New Year's. Tell me something I don't know. I don't remember that. I thought it was just them three and the kids. I think the mom is who told him, listen, this trash can gets incinerated. This one right here. Put her in this one. But make sure it's not a whole body. They'll probably see it falling into the dumpster. But this one gets burnt up. Put her in this one. I think the mom knew that. Yeah, but that was a lie. And I'm responding to this. But that was a lie, remember, because the mom was never there. I don't think the mom was there that night. But he had told the parole officer he had to take her home, but that was a lie. And the parole officer didn't even check. I don't even know what kind of parole officer that is. Pretty much do what the hell he want to do. He just make up a schedule. It take 4 hours to do everything in Brian Walsh's life, apparently. Take everything. It take 4 hours to take the kids to school. It take 3 hours to take the trash out. It take 5 hours to get a haircut. He just take up his whole day with the random events, apparently. Um, so we got the best friend, air quotes. And I thought I heard somebody say the mom was coming, her mom was coming in town. Thought I heard somebody say that. I hope they call him every sick bitch in the world. Y'all better hope I never have to give an impact statement on anybody I love. They gonna put me out. Y'all better hope the day never comes where I gotta give an impact statement on anybody I love. Cause baby, it's gonna be a sad. They gonna have to. It's gonna sound like this on TV. Bleep 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 bleep, bleep and this bleep and this bleep 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 and this bleep bleep bleep. It's gonna sound like, listen, people be too nice sometimes. I need him to come out like that lady did to Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeff, Joe. Y'all remember that? Any hootie, we almost to go. This should be sentencing should be on now. So we're gonna watch that. I don't know if I'll be back on before the new year. I think we'll do maybe an episode of Honesty in there somewhere. But if I don't, I just want to say that I love you all. I appreciate you all for being here with me whenever I show up. Y'all have, listen, I have not even been doing this a year. I started this channel in May. It was rescheduled to, oh, she probably didn't get the impact statement she wanted. Let's see. Postponed. It's tomorrow. It's pushed back for tomorrow. She probably was she's just still waiting on the impact statements. Thank you, Law Girls, Not Attorneys podcast. Moved this tomorrow, but she was waiting on impact statements, probably those kids. Um, and I will go subscribe to you as well. Listen, I started this channel in May, and I was very apprehensive about it. But you guys just pushed me and pushed me and pushed me, and I did it, and I appreciate it so much that you guys are here with me. I see you stop by and chit chat with me, Montana Little, Helena, Kim, other people's drama, Quizzical Girl. I notice you people. And you could be anywhere in the world, on any channel in the world, because there's so many. And you come and support my little community, and I am just so appreciative of all of you. Anybody who's ever sent a super chat, anybody that ever sent a Venmo, a Cash App, or anyone who's just been here in the mornings with me on my little bitty channel, because you could be, there's so many other streamers, there's so many other live streamers, and we have just created this small little community in such a short amount of time, and I appreciate you so much. You have no idea. So if I don't see you before the new year, I hope you have a very Merry Christmas. I hope all of your New Year's resolutions start on time and we stick with them. I haven't made one yet. Mine is always to lose weight. Mhm. By January 3rd, I'm eating fried chicken. But I'm going to get to it eventually. Um, I haven't made my resolution yet. I want it to be meaningful. I want it to be impactful. I think it's going to be more consistent just in every aspect of my life. I think I have a little bit, just a little piece of ADHD where things just get really boring to me really quickly. Like I'm really like gung ho, and then I'm just like I don't care, like at all. That's normal. Like I'm really like go for it. I want to do it all. I want all the things, and then like I don't care at all. It's not even like some people like, oh, I started this, I gotta finish. Like I will start a show with 8 episodes. I will get to the middle of episode 7 and just not care anymore. And people are like, you don't want to see how it ends? I really don't care. Like I have it. I don't care. So one of my New Year's resolution is to be more consistent. Kim, listen, put me up on game because I don't want to take none of them shots. I don't want to do none of the Wegovy, the Ozempic. I want to do it regular. I want to do it natural so that my head is the same size as my body. Because when they be taking them shots, it just like it take fat everywhere except for the cheeks or something. And I can't have no big head on no little body. I don't want that. If you lose weight altogether, everything gets smaller. That's what I want. 97 pounds is amazing. I don't know why I can't do that. I feel like, again, I think I got a little bit of ADHD. Like, I'll get in the gym and I'll lose about 5 or 6 pounds, and then it'll just plateau. And once it does that, I'm over it. And I don't care anymore. Like, if I go to the gym for 2 weeks and I don't lose a pound, count me out. I'm done. I ain't going back. And now I'm eating fried green beans or something. I don't know. But I'm gonna try to stick to it. I'm like, oh, also before I go, this has nothing to do with nothing, but it may touch somebody because people have been calling me for legal advice, and it seems to all be in the same area. And I want to be the one to tell you. I don't know who this may touch. Touch your neighbor. This may be for you or it might not be for you. If it's not for you, pass it on to somebody else. That message is file bankruptcy. Do not let these people and these bills stress you out. The credit companies have made it their mission. They have done all of the lobbying they can to make people be ashamed of filing bankruptcy. And I want you to understand that that is the rich people's secret. You do not, you if you have anything less than a 600 credit score, file bankruptcy. This is not I'm not your lawyer, so I'm not giving you personal legal advice. I'm just putting it out in the atmosphere. I have had no less than 5 people come to me talking about how can I fix my credit? What can I do? Do I need to pay? Don't pay none of them people. File bankruptcy. If it's not a secured debt, file bankruptcy. If you have more than $10,000 in debt, file bankruptcy. Get rid of it. Start over. Our president has done it 7-11 times. I don't know why. And people come to me and I'll be like, well, ma'am, you have way too much debt. You're never going to pay this off. I don't care if you pay all of your checks for 6 months, never paid another bill in your life. There's no way you can pay all of this debt and pay your bills. There's no way. Well, isn't that going to mess up my credit? Ma'am, you have a 600 credit score. Your credit is already messed up. File bankruptcy. Get rid of it. Start over. And they make you take a class so you learn financial literacy. You learn how to do better. Get rid of it. It's not like you walk around with a scarlet bankruptcy on your forehead. Nobody knows. And I'm going to tell you, when you walk into that bankruptcy class, guess who's going to be sitting next to you? First of all, you're going to pull up there. Well, I don't know if you pull up anymore. Um, because it's 2025, they might do it on Zoom. But when you pull up there, you're gonna see all type of Benzes, Bentleys, Lamborghinis, all type of shit. The people that are gonna be sitting in there with their Fendi, Louis bags, and your little $50,000 in debt is going to pale in comparison to these people who have 300,000, 400,000. You're gonna be like, I'm actually doing pretty good. Get rid of it. There are people who file bankruptcy every 10 years. Okay? They rack up all of that shit and go right back in there and do it again. File bankruptcy. Do not let bills stress you out. Don't let creditors calling you stress you out. File bankruptcy. Start over, especially in this economy. Especially in this economy. Okay, that was my TED talk for today because I get so many calls about this, y'all. And no, I can't do it for you. That's really what I've been getting the calls. That's really what I've been getting the calls about. No, I'm not. That's not my. I don't. It's not my ministry. It's not my ministry. I like to work my 9 to 5, and then I like to get off. It's not my ministry to go to court for you. It's not my ministry to file paperwork for you. Yes, I am a lawyer, but not your lawyer. Okay. I can tell you all the things you need to do and I will help you along the way. I will give you advice if you feel like somebody's not doing it right, but I'm not doing it. But that is my TED Talk. That is my gift to y'all for the Christmas season. If you look up at your debt to income ratio and it is overbearing, it is too much. If you look over at your credit score and it is 600 or less, I'd say 650. If it's 650 or less, start over. It's okay. It is not the death sentence and it is not the terrible, terrible, awful that they try to make you think it is. Get rid of that shit. Start over. And if you mess it up again in 7 years, do it all over. Do it all over again. Who gives a shit? You only live once. Just throw it in the bag. Any hootie, I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. If I don't see you again before then, probably will. We'll do an honest tea. We'll slip an honest tea in there because numbers, I have a lot to say about that Michigan coach. And I have a lot to say about Miss Baby, who he was cheating with. And I don't know if you're gonna like it, but I got it to say. So I will holler at y'all soon. Mm, soon. I think soon. Okay. I gotta go to work now. They're still in this meeting I get in. I gotta go to work now. I hope you have a happy holiday season. I'm sorry, I said Christmas and New Year's. Everybody doesn't celebrate Christmas. If you haven't, happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa. I don't know. I don't know the rest of it. Happy holidays to you all. And I will talk to you later. Bye. Bye, guys. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Take care of yourselves and each other. Bye.